Do you know this feeling? You open your eyes in the morning, and even before your first sip of coffee, you already know your entire day ahead. The subway, where you could name every station with your eyes closed. The work chat with the same questions. The evening couch, a series you don't even watch, just background noise. You're not unhappy, but you're not alive either. Jung called this life on autopilot, when you exist, but you are absent. Check right now. When was the last time you truly felt excited? Where is the person who once dreamed of living, not just surviving? And here's the paradox. This sense of longing is actually your ally, because beneath the layers of routine, another you is knocking. The one who is angry about endless shoulds, longs for real challenges, and, strangely enough, craves the very struggles you've been avoiding. Jung would say, this is the call of the hero, an archetype that lives in all of us. Not the hero on posters, but yours. The one who gets up for a run, even when the elevator tempts you with its glowing button. The one who says this hurts, instead of the usual, I'm fine. The one who still believes that just living is not enough. The good news, you don't need a grand quest. Just wake up, literally and figuratively. Tomorrow morning, try one change. 1. Turn on the light, not with your hand, but with your awareness. 2. Ask yourself not what do I have to do, but what do I want to feel today? That's the hero's first step, not in battle, but in presence. Ready to take it? Then let's continue. Let's figure out, who is this hero living inside you? In myths and fairy tales across all cultures, there's an amazing pattern. An ordinary person receives a call, feels fear, but goes anyway. That's the hero archetype. But Jung discovered something even more important. The hero isn't about superpowers. It's an internal mechanism of growth. Imagine, you say, I'll try, when you used to stay silent. You admit a mistake instead of making excuses. You choose a hard conversation over comfortable silence. That's your hero in action. Jung emphasized, this archetype shows up through resistance, like a muscle that only grows under tension. Psychological fact, 92% of people feel fear at moments of decision, but the 8% who act aren't fearless. They simply hear the hero's call louder than the voice of fear. Right now, you can run a small experiment. 1. Recall a situation where you went against your usual habit, even a small one. 2. Notice, what did you feel before acting? Fear. 3. And after? Most likely, pride, even if the outcome wasn't perfect. That's how the archetype works. Jung warned, the hero isn't about perfectionism. In his journals, he wrote a brilliant phrase. True courage lies in the willingness to be imperfect. So your hero is not the one who never falls. It's the one who knows that falling is part of the path. Remember, if today you stepped away from toxic interaction, started a project you were afraid to begin, simply said, I don't know, honestly, you're already on the path. And that matters far more than winning. Because, as Jung said, the path is the goal. Let's be honest, routine isn't the enemy. On the contrary, it's like train tracks. Without them, the train of life crashes. But imagine a train that never leaves the station. That's what routine does when we forget to bring the hero into it. Jung called this underground living, when you calculate risks 10 steps ahead, but never take the first step. Here's the psychological paradox. Our brain loves the familiar. That's a fact, but our psyche demands growth. Here's a quick test. Recall. 1. When was the last time you did something for the first time? 2. How many days in a row do you dress on autopilot? 3. Is your route from home to work a straight line, or a space for little discoveries? Routine turns toxic when you stop tasting your food. All conversations blur into the same themes. You start thinking about the weekend on Monday morning. But here's the secret. That itch of dissatisfaction is not a distress signal. It's your hero's GPS. Jung once wrote in a letter to a patient, "Your anxiety is not the enemy. It's a map hidden in your pocket. Take it out. Try this today." 1. Choose 3 routine actions: brushing teeth, your commute, waiting in line. 2. Do them consciously, as if for the first time. 3. Notice, where does resistance appear? That's the boundary where routine either becomes a prison or a hero's training ground. Now the main question: how do you find this hero in your ordinary life? After all, this isn't a fairy tale. No one is handing you a magic sword or treasure map. The answer is surprisingly simple. Your hero is already showing up. Right now, every time you choose honesty over convenient lies. Decide to learn something new at 40. Keep caring for someone, even when you're exhausted. That's the modern face of the archetype. Jung loved to say, a hero is one who says yes to their calling. But that calling isn't always loud. Here's where to find it. 1. In micro decisions. Each morning offers tiny choices. Hit snooze, or get up 5 minutes early to drink your coffee in peace. Check your phone or look out the window and notice the first ray of sun. 2. In honest dialogue. When you ask, how are you really? And are ready to hear the truth. When you say, I was wrong, without self-punishment. 3. In creativity, even with routine. Invent a game with your kids instead of standard how was school. Turn cleaning into a meditation instead of a chore. Clinical psychologist John Norcross conducted a study. People who made such micro changes were 4 times more likely to reach their goals than those who waited for the right moment. Jung called this the alchemy of the everyday, when ordinary actions become meaningful. Today's practice. 1. Choose one familiar activity: dinner, your commute, a shower. 2. Do it with full presence. 3. Notice what changed and how it felt. This isn't a spiritual ritual. It's training for your inner hero, the one who turns life from a string of days into a story worth living. How do you know your hero is awakening? It's not dramatic. It feels like the first light of dawn. Here are 3 clear signs. 1. You notice your autopilot behaviors. That moment when you think, I always do this, but why? Like ordering the same dish or reacting the same way to criticism. 2. You develop an inner observer. Suddenly, you're aware. I'm angry right now, instead of being consumed by anger. I'm scared, instead of running away from the situation. Jung called this distance from the shadow, the first step toward wholeness. 3. Routine begins to play. Your commute becomes people watching. Washing dishes becomes a tactile meditation. A grocery line becomes patience training. But the biggest marker? Your questions change. Instead of, how can I survive this day? You start asking, what can I discover in myself today? Psychological fact. When patients began noticing these signs, Jung would say, your soul has finally knocked on the door of consciousness. Try this today. 1. Catch one automatic action. 2. Ask yourself, why do I do it this way? 3. Don't change it, just notice. That's how the hero awakens. Not in battles, but in awareness. Now, the most important part. How to awaken this hero in everyday life. Don't wait for a loud call. Start with quiet steps. 2-minute morning ritual. 1. Before getting out of bed, ask, what small challenge can I accept today? 2. Choose something simple but beyond your usual habits. Take a new route to work. Ask a colleague an unexpected question. Try an unfamiliar breakfast. Technique. 3 perspectives. 1. Morning. Imagine your day as a hero's journey. 2. Afternoon. In a moment of irritation, ask, what would my hero do now? 3. Evening. Note one moment when you broke from autopilot. Jung used a similar method with patients. He called it awakening the observing ego. Exercise. Shift the frame. 1. Choose a routine activity like a subway ride. 2. Imagine you're an anthropologist studying human behavior, an actor preparing for a role, a traveler seeing the city for the first time. Studies show even simple techniques like this shift brain activity after just 3 weeks of practice. Important. Start with micro steps. 5 minutes a day is enough. Mistakes are part of the process. Jung called them the hero's shadow. Track your changes in a simple journal. Today, my hero showed up when I... Remember, you're not building willpower. You're learning the language your real life speaks to you. We often seek heroism in the grand, but Jung revealed a paradox. True bravery is born in the silence of ordinary days. Your hero isn't the one who slays dragons. It's the one who dares to feel when it's easier to harden, chooses to be vulnerable when a mask would be safer, stays true to themselves even in the smallest of choices. Jung left us with this powerful thought. The scariest thing is to accept yourself completely. That is the ultimate act of courage. Think back. Every time you listened to your exhaustion instead of pretending. When you acknowledged fear but moved forward anyway. When you chose to be, not to appear. You've already walked that path. Now a new task. 1. Tonight, find 3 moments when you were truly yourself, even in small ways. 2. Thank your inner hero with a whisper. I see you. 3. Tomorrow morning, repeat, but with new awareness. This isn't the end. It's your new beginning, ordinary, real, alive. As Jung would say, you don't become yourself. You remember yourself. Now tell me, where did your hero show up today? Leave a comment. Your story might inspire someone else. This channel is for those who choose life. Your own.